Alright, so you weren't recording this entire time on that one.
That one, anyway. The spare starts now.
So you guys regroup to each other. You guys start making your way back to Marydale. And you guys go through that ruined, burned down village and everything as well. As you guys go through Marydale, this is where Tabs unfortunately breaks off from the group and says, I'm gonna stay with my family for now. That was some scary shit. And he's just gonna pull off and just be with his family while you guys head out.
Says the guy who murdered them all.
I'm just going to nod approvingly and just say, like, give them our best wishes. As he leaves.
He gives a prominent bow and wishes you well.
Yeah. As he's walking away, I'll start whistling a mimicry of some of the songs he's been playing as we came up to carry on the spirit.
Alright, so you guys start making your way to the Academy City. I have it written down here. Where did it go?
It's actually a very good imitation.
Okay. Thank you. Lemont. There we go. The Academy City of Lemont.
Okay.
Yes.
No. It's. I'm just looking at the sign. L-E with some bullshit on top. M-O-N. Okay.
So unless anybody objects,
No.
you guys are heading to the Academy City.
I'm not objecting to this. If any chance I get to slay that wizard that got away from us and that.
Ooh, that wizard that got away. Was there any characteristic marks on him? Did he look different or anything that stood out?
Let me dive deep into my memory wells.
I want you guys to roll me histories.
Okay. I shot someone. I don't know who I shot, but. Is it the one?
So
I got a 10, but.
You're like, wait a minute, what guy was that again?
he was a human, I think.
Humanoid.
Humanoid.
He was humanoid and could cast magic.
You do recall it being some sort of like older-ish gentleman, balding hair, but that's kind of like all of the distinguishing features you could recall from him.
Yeah, I'll let Tialana and Yolanda know. Some old guy apparently got away. Apparently he was bad news.
Have you ever seen a picture of a wizard? He looked like that.
But bold. Wait, beard? No beard?
No, you don't remember.
Not a wizard then, he's probably a sorcerer or something. All wizards have beards.
And monocles.
This is not. Or those little half spectacle glasses that are like super low in the nose. Like
monocles. Dumbledore. Those little glasses. And he was a wizard, Harry. You know what kind of wizards I'm talking about.
The one with no noses?
You don't remember that little...
The only thing I know all
way
wizards
back when
have
in
is
your old
depression.
house. Watch that little animated series.
In paper cuts.
And paper cuts.
Spoofer.
Little Witch Academia?
Hmm?
Little Witch
We're
Academia? Is that
multi-hour
what I'm
way
thinking of?
to
No.
Academy
This was like
City.
way back in college.
So yeah, you're going up to the Academy City. From where you guys were at the cave all the way up to the Academy, you're basically pushing all the way through right into the evening already. So like that was a whole day's trek, just getting to where you're at now. As you were approaching the city, you see big gates, big golden like gates, with elven scripture bordering the top of it.
What do they say?
What
It
does
says-
it say?
I read it.
It literally just says academics. Just over across.
Shit.
Nope, just academics.
Academics. That's how all elves sound. And then you tell.
Yeehaw! So
Every elf I've met talks like that. Except for these weird city elves. It's a little different.
So there's nobody really around at this type of hour. It is late at night. You guys go through the gates. It's not locked. It's nothing. You just literally waltz right into the city. And when you walk in, you see a gigantic just fountain. You do see a bunch of different buildings. It's kind of like a big circle, like it's kind of sort of like a marketplace. And then you can see visibly in the far back behind all these other buildings are like big school, 3 to 4 story buildings.
Is the whole place like circular, like circles and circles, or just like...
From what you could see walking in first, you can't tell how big the actual city is itself until you walk further down into the city around the school areas.
Okay.
So you see like maybe 1, 2 people just kind of walking around right now. You do notice that these people are wearing robes, but they are not the same colored robes as the mages you saw. You see people wearing green robes, blue robes, a person's wearing a purple robe, but they are in the same sort of designs.
Considering the time it is in the evening, maybe we should wait till the morning hour to investigate the academy. Otherwise, we look like criminals. Especially you two. You look like criminals. And you smell like them too.
If only all criminals smelled like sulfur, it'd be pretty easy to find. I think taking a rest is a good idea. You can also, go to an inn, go to a tavern, wherever we're going to stay. Good to hear about the town, too.
So this is an academic city?
It's an academic city, so it's a city.
So it still has accommodations.
Yes.
So it's either very elderly people or youngish snobs.
The bar is going to just be filled with young
Do
elves.
I have any
Secure,
secret faction
bro.
needs here?
You personally do not know.
We brew it locally, dude.
Yes.
No, I'm just looking at wonder at the city.
Okay. The city.
Super polished. Everything seems like weirdly designed for like just to make milk money out of people. But in general,
You do notice it's got like the weird like Mickey Mouse Disneyland kind of vibes where like it's pristine but it's a little too pristine.
it smells like vanilla for
It
some
smells,
weird
it
reason.
smells like vanilla for whatever reason. You can't figure out where it's coming from.
If we decide to learn more about the school, perhaps we look for a tavern closer to the main academic hall.
Campus bar, yes.
Yes.
Well,
The
that's
campus
gonna be dependent on what faction. The school is separated into different factions. Right now, stay here. We're gonna go find Califer. He is our lead and our insider. Or don't stay here. I really don't care.
What's his name? Keller?
Califer.
I give a thumbs up, and we're still close to that fountain, right?
Yeah.
I go check out the fountain.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if this is something that people use as
I
kind of like a
definitely have
wishing
to
fountain.
sort us. I demand we be sorted into our factions, please.
Good thing there's a faction hat for that.
If you want, if you guys really want, just for shits and giggles.
I always tell myself I'm a green snaky boy, but I'm definitely a badger.
Y'all can roll me a d12 if you want to just for shits and giggles figure out what your factions would be.
Oh, it's not based on the.
Is there like a notice board that says be factionized?
Yeah, there's like an actual the classic billboard that has like all the different like after school programs and shit like that. It's like a scoreboard of like this faction's getting this much for points, and they're like the lead.
Can I find a pamphlet of what these factions are about? Like, what's the
Yeah.
one line
Right,
description
you can
of these
just roll for
factions?
me.
You can roll 20. Like
I rolled a 5.
you rolled a 5. So okay. You do find like a little something on these boards about each of the factions. So there are technically 11 different factions. There is the Blessed faction. There is the Knight faction. The Dragon Path. Fey Path. Oracle. Elementalists. Illusionists. Skulls. Ancients. Serenity. And Enchanters. Those are the different factions that are listed on this board. So with you getting a 5, for shits and giggles, you would be part of the Oracle faction.
Naturally.
7?
Illusionists.
Oh, that's a good.
That's very, it's literally, I've got my notes here as disguise self and invisible, which is what you do.
That's all I do.
Mandolin would be the Serenity faction.
I'm going to specifically look for anything related to
Technology?
Well, it's not. Yeah,
I
like
feel like I should
engineering,
be.
Technomancy?
technomancy. Thank you.
Artificery?
It
Ooh, I
would
like
most
that.
I feel
likely.
like I should be an elementalist, but I will take Serenity.
Yeah, it would be most likely the ancients
Ancient.
or the enchanters. Would
Ooh,
be
I-
the two closer related ones.
Well, technical.
Probably enchanters.
Yeah, oracles make sense for me because I have the gift of telling the future. I see someone, I want to kill them, I tell them they're going to die, and it's almost guaranteed.
So as you guys are admiring this board, going, ooh, this faction, and just, did you still want to investigate the fountain?
Yes, I would like to take a look over at it.
Okay, go ahead and roll me an investigation.
That's my second one.
Well, he did say he was gonna
Water.
curse you.
You see water.
2 ones in a row on 2 different dice.
You're rolling hot already. First time we're back in person, and you're rolling
I
hot.
blame this mat.
Sure,
Absor-
blame the mat.
It's absorbing all my 20s. Like the 20s
It's
are hitting
absorbing
there.
the sound.
Yeah. And all the good dice juju. It's just sucking it all up.
So you guys hear footsteps coming from behind you. And you turn around, you see Tialana, Yolanda, and a guy in a dark black robe. And he's got the same kind of gold trim on his robes.
Our inside man.
First glance at him, he appears to be an elf of some variant of form.
I think we called this, didn't we? It was gonna be
Maybe not. He's got like the classic geeky glasses like Travis.
But they're not, hey, they're not that geeky.
Yeah. And he's got like a couple different books in hand, and he's kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but hi.
What a nerd. Let's beat him up.
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm sorry. You must be the people that they mentioned. I'm Califer, and he holds out his hand that's free.
I'll offer up my hands. Sure.
Pleasure. What happened to you?
What do you mean?
I'm sorry. I don't know very many tabaxis, but are you okay?
I'm a little confusedly at the competitors, like, yes, but I kind of like slink my hand back just like a little bit, just like, isn't that like he's a crazy person?
Tried to wrestle with a dragon.
Oh.
Got a little bit of the bad breath.
I'm sorry to hear that. Alright. I mean, as long as you're doing okay, I guess that's fine. That's fine.
Oh no,
Very
I
fine.
was just fucking with you. I mean, I'm in a lot of pain.
Oh,
This is what you see.
Oh, this fine. If there's if there's any healing around, here?
yeah, basically.
any sort of healing available or in this area?
Oh, I mean, that would be under Yolanda's faction, but I'm not the healer. I'm the professor of the skull and faction. I used to be the professor of the ancient faction, but things happened and I had to change my factions.
Did something die?
Oh, no. Just basically study changes. I started dabbling a little bit more in necromancy and less in ancient cultures. Don't get me wrong, necromancy has a bad rep, but when used in the right way, it's actually not as evil as... He starts going on this whole rant about how necromancy is actually, like, good for, like, it's a good study, and more people should be studying necromancy, and...
If I could just get you to hold there for a moment, I have a question. We are looking for a wizard or a sorcerer who uses fire magic, is capable of teleporting short distances, is an older man with a red robe with gold trim, if I'm remembering correctly.
Well, those of the red robes are going to be part of the Dragon Path factions. They're the ones who primarily study and have dragon lineage. So anybody of dragonborn blood is going to be part of that faction, I guarantee. So based on your description, that's probably where they'll be.
You mean like if you have a dragon faction, that's the only one that'll accept you, or just you need it to be accepted?
You need it. It's more of an elite faction, just like the Fey faction. You have to be a Fey blood, like Elven or other Fey creatures. And he kind of just like
or others.
I
That's
feel
very
like I didn't
segregated.
others.
Seems a little. So where those kind of
Somebody's buying mighty on those homes.
Mandolin, with your passive perception, you happen to notice two people walking past you guys. And at first glance, you happen to notice that one of them is dressed in one of the red robes. It is a very tall female. And half of her face is completely draconic. She's got red scales all along her face, and she's got snow white hair.
Oh, like they have to be dragonborn like that lady, eh? Also, just so you know, I think enchantment is just as evil as necromancy, if that makes you feel any better.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I also do curses and poisons and...
I feel like we're getting back to evil territory. So, okay.
I'm the bad guy. Duh.
Sometimes you're killing people, sometimes you're bringing people back.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as Tijuana, she was part of the Knight faction. Those are dark warlocks and paladins all mixed in one classroom, so how does that make sense?
Warlocks and paladins are like the same thing.
Anyways, the two
Right?
of them were saying you needed some sort of accommodation for the time being.
Yes, that would be appreciated.
Alright, I think I've got space within my my quarters, in our dorms. If you guys wouldn't mind following me, I suppose, take care of you for the time being, and then in the morning we can discuss further.
I am curious on the direction in which the tall dragon lady is going.
So if you were facing, because the billboard would have been like closest to the gate, facing towards the inside of the fountain, like towards the fountain, you would have seen her coming from kind of like a little bit off to the corner, couldn't quite tell where, diagonally across the fountain to the other side. And it seemed like she was talking with someone at the time, and it seemed like they were just heading toward some sort of direction.
Could I
there.
perceive any part of their conversation, or were they completely outside of earshot?
They were out of earshot. All you could have heard was...
Were they making their way, like from the direction we came, like making their way out of town?
Nope, they were... It looked like they might have been going to like a dorm, or they might have been going to a tavern, or...
I'm gonna give a cursory look at our group. That guy probably will remember us and be able to pick us out of the crowd. I'm gonna look around, assuming I see a lot of like elves and other things here. You mentioned the gates had elvish on them.
Yeah, there's multiple different races. Because when you first came in, you noticed that, the person in the blue robe was a dwarf. Person in the purple robe was a dragonborn.
Okay. So maybe we're not made like immediately when we get here, but we might want to buy some like cloaks or something with hoods just to not be as visible all the time. But
Hold on. Tijuana said it's probably a good idea. And he's like struggling with his books, and he's like pulling through one of the books, kind of like badges.
mm-hmm.
It's like, here, they're visitor badges.
I snag them.
What's these?
It's a representation of you being allowed within the academy. Not everybody's allowed to just come in and just walk around. You have to be a student or a visitor on behalf of a professor, in which case that there is my... Did you just look at it?
Had a funny scent to it.
Probably because it's a mixture of silver and nickel. Maybe? Be careful though, it did come from my office. As you recall, I do deal with poisons.
Now it smells familiar.
There's like a pin.
Yeah, it's just like a little pin. It's got like a little skull on it.
I put it on my lapel, I guess. Off the neck piece there.
I'll just like slip it in and hide it for now. Since I'll obviously have to change my outfit, there's no way I'm going to be able to walk around town without people going like, That guy seems out of place.
Mm-hmm.
But slap some, hit me with some red spray paint, put on some fake horns, glue them on, boom. I'm a dragon warrior.
Yeah.
I don't think it works like that.
If a panda can be a dragon warrior, I'm pretty sure Neil can.
So you happen to notice
you
that
already got the
Tialana kind of
scales
just
and the
like
tail.
pulls Califer aside a little bit, and then the two sisters just kind of head off into a separate direction entirely, and basically leaves Califer in your guys' care. And he's not the most graceful person. You're starting to learn as he's still struggling with the books after maneuvering the badges out of his books.
Yeah.
I'll offer him a hand with the books if he wants.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I guess while we walk over to the dorms, do you guys have any questions? Are you curious? Do you maybe want to attend the academy? I mean, I'm always accepting people under my faction.
So, I'm not completely without skill, but my skill is very specific.
Pray tell.
Well, I have to, it takes a lot out of me. I can only be able to do it, once a day. But if I want to be unseen, I can become invisible. And I can change what I look like.
So, not my faction. It's fine. The illusionist faction is probably more suited to your natural skill set.
I'm still doing anything. I was like, poison. So, let's say I have a magic sword that does poison. It's been implied to me that I could improve it if I could somehow improve the poison of the weapon. Would you be the person to talk to about such a thing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, I don't want to pull a sword out in the middle of the street. Look, when we have time later, I'll shoot it the sword.
I'd love to take a look at it, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, I can even show you what other modified poisons I have, and who knows, maybe you might want to just change things up a little?
I'll show you my poison if you show me yours.
But yeah.
It's
Just a big robot whispers that.
Just chill out. It's a short sword.
It's just a short
Only.
I'm kind of a creature of destruction and rebirth, so I do a little bit of necromancy. So maybe I could learn some stuff. But actually, I think I know someone who would be interested in attending the school after we kill the evil people here. So maybe I'll reach out to you then.
Of course, any student I'm willing to take in under my wing and teach you all that I know. I mean, if you always want to learn a little bit more of the ancient history as well, I also did a lot of that. I was the professor of the ancient faction before, and then things kind of happened during one of my studies, and then now I'm the skull and necromancy teacher.
Is it, you say ancients, just a histories, or?
Yeah, so kind of like the baseline of where ancient magic originated from, different technology and how it implements, different things like that. Kind of like where everything started.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of maybe where everything's going. And he looks kind of over to you there, the Warforged buddy.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell me, I've never seen anything quite like you before. Where are you from?
That is not of your concern at the moment. I am only 7 years old, though.
Incredible. Amazing. What sort of magic is... Sorry, too personal. You already said.
I don't even think I'm aware of that.
Please, he's only a child.
He freezes for a minute and is like, okay, I'm gonna keep walking. We're not that far away. Do you guys have anything else you would like to know about the school?
Well, the school, not so
Well,
much, I don't think. But,
I would like to ask you, do you know anything about the twins from the whole like stopping demon magic thing? Like, did they? You said you were good at history. Anything you know about them? And also, because I'm jealous that you're so interested in this robot, my dad is a fire spirit from the dream realm. Isn't that neat? Hmm.
That's very unique. I'm sure. Beg your pardon. Just to clarify, the twins you're referring to, the great sages, correct?
Probably, yeah. I think so, yeah.
All right, Mayor and Mayer.
Me and Mayer, okay.
Yeah.
One was born of the moon. One was born of the sun. Supposedly, before they were even born, they weren't supposed to be twins. They were supposed to be one child, but then, oops, something happened. Now they're twins. So I would presume that the magic that is within both of them is actually less valued than what they would have been together. Which, in hindsight, might also be referring to the sages overall, how they might actually be slightly weaker than the rest of the sages. But I personally haven't dabbled too much into the sages themselves. I'm more into the technology and the different kind of like unique artifacts that I've located along my research. That was more my interest.
Things not.
Oh, let me tell you something. Or if you got time.
I've got tons of time. I don't have classes until tomorrow afternoon.
I'll point to my little fire bead and I'll be like, Dig Nefarious, the fire sage, gave me this. It's probably pretty unique. You want to look at it?
Absolutely. That looks like something I've read in a book before, actually. And he pulls kind of like he like completely invades your space. And just like grabs
it's just my arm right now.
He like completely invades your space and he's like staring at this little stone. And immediately was like, oh my god, this is something from the gods.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Fascinating, very
I like
fascinating.
the god.
You know, the god of wrath. Always likes to fight.
Hmm. Which one's that?
Perforos.
Oh, yeah.
Perforos, and then there's like Mogus and...
Perdolos. Yeah, I know that guy. Yeah, real cool.
Incredible. Yeah. What does it do? What?
You'll find out, or you want me to tell you?
Well, what does your friend say?
I say you want to experience it. It's once in a lifetime opportunity.
Okay, give me a little punch.
It's all right.
They kind of like fingers up, fingers down, fingers up, fingers down. Like not too sure whether or not to interrupt.
That was a 12 to hit, Eric.
It misses, but I'm trying to allow it. I don't know how that works.
That was even just a straight roll. That's how he's a man of books. He's not a man of anything else.
Hit me.
He just kind of like taps you.
Then I don't know. I guess it's your call if anything happens. I'm trying to let him hit me.
That's the problem. Nothing happens.
Okay, to help with this, I'll be like,
Oh,
Allow
sorry,
me
I
to
think
assist,
I
and I
think
go
I'm
and
doing
check.
it.
All right, roll for an attack.
alright,
That's
let's
allowed as like an advantage or something, or
I'm just like, sorry, I didn't realize you were so cheap. As you like stab me or whatever.
24.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure 24 hits.
It'll just be for the 3 damage, it's just an unarmored strike.
Yeah.
And then alarm will light up, and then you'll light up, and you'll take 5.
Alright.
Fascinating. That's like really fascinating.
Yeah. It's pretty cool because it means it hurts to hurt me, you know? That's like Um,
And he starts pulling out a notebook, and he's just kind of like immediately jotting things down, just completely drops all of his other books, and just starts making notes.
I'm starting to sweat a little bit under the weight of the books he gave me. Just like, oh.
I will go ahead and I'm gonna telepathy to you, Joel, and I'm just gonna be like, hey, should we tell this random guy about all the masks? He might know something.
But let's get to know him first. Just
Okay.
just a little bit.
Now that we've had our fun, perhaps we continue on to the place of
Oh, yeah.
occupants.
Sorry, it's just right this way. And literally you see this big kind of like castle-like structure. And it's got these big black doors that has a gigantic skull just kind of on the base of the stone archway structure for this door. He pulls out a large golden key and he just quickly just unlocks it, pushes the doors open, and you guys walk in and you see kind of like a very nice, Victorian-ish kind of like setup where it's all like, you got Renaissance kind of looking paintings on the walls. Everything's like, there's a nice carpet on the floor. It's very warm and very comforting just walking into this place.
Walking past the door, I just want to look. Does it actually look like a conventional sort of lock, or does it seem like it's maybe something not mechanical?
It looks like, first glance, it's a regular mechanical, like, nothing
Okay.
fancy.
Okay. I was just curious.
Unless you want to thoroughly investigate it.
The key he pulled out, unless he I'm assuming he didn't try to hide it. Does it look like very complicated? Like the design of the key?
Nope.
Okay.
This is like a school location. I can't imagine that they're.
Oh, I just give a quick little look as I walk by. I'm just taking a peek.
They
Yep.
prize the worst security ever.
Yeah.
There should be some rooms on the second floor that are unoccupied. I don't have too many students who stay in these dorms here.
Yeah.
So make yourselves at home. I'm going to be on the first floor here if you have any other questions, or if you need anything. I'm just going to be probably studying for the time being.
Yeah. You can see I'm starting to get like visibly purple on the parts of the skin that are exposed, and I'm like knee knocking. I'm like, so like, where do you want these books? Like right over here?
Just in my office, please come with me.
Okay, I shamble into his office.
And
And,
it's
like-
literally,
and, like-
it's like,
I only dump them on the desk.
it's like not even like that far down the hall from the entranceway. It's like, you literally take a few steps, it's right there on the left.
I'm going to explore the area using a combination of sight and smell, just to see if I pick up the fact there are other students around here.
Yeah. Roll me a d20, and then roll me. No, I will roll.
Is it just a straight d20 or one of my stats?
Sorry. Roll a perception.
Perception. It'll be a 16.
Okay. So you pick out 12 different students within the building, fairly close to the first floor, a little bit onto the second floor levels. But you kind of depict different smells of like, somebody obviously didn't shower for several days. Someone is very heavy into perfumes. Someone's definitely dabbling in some sort of poisons right now. Someone has definitely like some sort of herb garden or something in their bedroom, but you can pick out like 12 distinct kind of, personalities from these students. Aside from the teacher himself as well, you can definitely pick out his room where it's like a combination of like, poisons and parchment paper and like
I'm
different kind
showering
of
for a
like.
month.
I'll let him know, like, are you going to be in your office for the rest of the day, or?
Yeah, it's getting pretty late. I don't know how late I'm gonna be staying, but staying up. But I'll be staying up as late as I possibly can. I've got a couple things I need to take care of.
Do you have time to look at the sword?
Let's do it in the morning. That way everything is fresh, and if I need to make something, I have plenty of time before classes.
Cool.
I'm going to make way to one of the rooms on the second level, but I'm going to use my gift of sense and the knowledge I acquired from just listening in to find a room that's like furthest away from any other student.
Yeah, you find one like right away. There's only like 2 people, if that, on that second floor there.
All right.
Is a ritual 10 minutes plus the casting or an hour plus the casting?
10 plus the cast.
10 plus casting?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna set up a tiny hut right in the entrance in a corner.
Just right in the entrance way.
I don't need fancy stuff, so right just off the corner of the door, I'm gonna set
Right
up a
where
hut.
everybody has to walk by.
Yes. But just off into the corner.
Okay.
Just so it's out of the way but still in the way.
Sure.
I'm gonna make it translucent so you see through it, and I'm gonna sit inside.
Okay. I'm gonna watch
No,
you.
I'm
gonna watch you do like your thing. And I'm just gonna kind of like big shrug and like.
As you do that, like 2 students walk in. They're like, "Oh, did we get a new statue?"
I'm curious on how your sleep function works. Are you still like active to some degree?
I
So,
go
like,
inactive for 6 hours at least to get a full rest, but I'm still fully functional to sight, smell, hearing.
so
I don't
I'm just
smell,
imagining
so-
every time someone walks by, your eyes just light up and track them, and then
Yes.
as soon as they go to
Pretty much.
Very sentinel-like. That's a feat you should take, a sentinel. Alright, so you guys turn in for the night, unless there's anything you guys would like to particularly do before doing
All I would like to do is if I can find some information, or even if like just a random student go by, like really playing up the fact I'm a visitor, but like also have like their badge, like for their house, be like, so like who's the illusionist professor?
Oh, that's Cornwall. Professor Cornwall.
Cornwall. Like I'm just gonna ask him like approximate directions to his wing or wherever his like class would be.
Oh, well, that's going to be in a completely different faction. That's going to be, you're going to want to go all the way back to the fountain, and then you're going to make a left, and you're going to make a right, and then you're going to hit the bookstore street where all the books are, and then you're going to make another left, and then probably, oh gosh, it's been a while since I've been to that faction. There's a garden where a lot of the people like to go and hang out from the elemental faction. But if you take a right there, you should be able to just go down the street and then one more left, and that should be the illusionist faction.
I stopped listening like 30 seconds ago. I'm just going like, just waiting for this person to have a natural break in conversation. Like, I'm sure I'll find it in the day. Like, all these schools or these factions, they're completely separate around the city.
Yes, of course. Each faction has their own dorm, and each dorm faction has their own common rooms, their own accommodations. There are students who have their own accommodations outside of the faction dorms, and then the schools themselves are all split up by faction as well due to the different elemental complications that can happen due to combining magic.
Interesting. Okay, perfect. Cool. And then I'm pretty much just going to go to bed because I'm tired and exhausted and burnt.
Literally.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Burnt.
Yeah.
That was literal. There was no euphemism.
Alright, so yeah, you guys turn in for the night. Going into the next morning, you guys wake up bright and early. You do hear, you specifically end up seeing a lot of the students leaving to go head out to their, probably they're going for breakfast, or they're starting to go to their classes, or, but yeah, you see a total of the 12 students that were picked up leave, so you guys are the only ones in the dorm aside from Professor Cypher.
When I leave my
Like
dorm
Alfred.
for the morning, I'm going to just look like the most haggard student of all time. I have my glamour, my studded armor, so I'm gonna make it look like my nicer gambling clothes. But my face is just a nightmare. Like I just look like the bender of benders, burnt face. Like it's all coming back in. I would hope a little bit, but yeah, I look haggard. If you had to guess, be like that man's like 50, clearly.
Given that this is like a dorm, I imagine there's like chests in the room for locking up personals and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're in each individual room for the students.
Excellent. Since walking around with all my weaponry is going to be kind of crazy and overwhelming, I am going to basically lock up all my heavy gear, my weapons, stuff like that, and I'm going to do something I haven't done since the beginning of time and wear common clothing. So I look like a normie. outside of my incredibly handsome exterior. But I'm wearing like just the basic shirt with like the strings and like the just basic pants. Like this is as
It's weird looking.
it's as basic bras you can get.
The cats call this fancy feast.
But yeah, I'm not wearing any of my gear. I'm not embracing my hunter's trophies. It is. As you guys first see me, you can tell I feel uncomfortable. Like no, like you know when someone like walks out naked, they feel uncomfortable. It's like that. That's the kind of like I feel more comfortable being naked, swimming around the water. This is uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
It's like. Ugh. And nobody upset as I basically like, sit in the common eating area, just like.
Seeing you
That's
do
bad.
that, since you don't have like, do you have any of your arms on you? Like any weapons?
I would have like the dagger, like something I could easily be carrying with me that wouldn't draw too much attention. Because having like a dagger at my hip, no big deal. But carrying around like a magical bow, a massive freaking sword.
Given
armor.
that, I mean, like that's smart. I will put my sword away and my crossbow out, but when I come back up, I'll toss you one of my dragon tooth daggers.
Oh, sweet! Snag that.
Yeah.
Take the cheapy dagger, stab into the table.
So I'll be going
Keep it in.
obsidian and dragon tooth.
Okay.
My armor is kind of me.
Yeah, it
So-
looks normal for you, but
I'll just keep my shield on my back.
Okay.
I'll do a dragon tooth dagger, and I'll still wear the purple boots because you know that way I can kind of like put my boots up and be like, I am a gnomon. Check out my boots.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what would you guys like to do?
I would like to procure either a very big hat or a cloak so I can hide my ugly ass face from the general viewing public.
Do you have a cloak?
Okay. I basically put my hood up. Try not to look like an edgelord or anything, but it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna...
You are coming from the Skull faction, so you're pretty like everybody's like the edgelord of the school.
Oh, I still will be wearing the Kraken's cloak though that I stole because I'm still obviously
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I still feel
So,
fancy.
what would you like to do this morning?
At some point, I'd like to talk to whatever his face was about the sword. That's like, and then maybe figure out who the hell we're looking after.
Perhaps have the discussion now. If he requires time to work on your blade, he can do it while we investigate the school.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I'll take a knock on his door if he's awake.
Yeah, he's definitely awake. He quickly opens it up, and yeah, you see him standing there. Oh, hey, morning, guys. What can I do for you?
Professor Gallagher. Not too sure when you wanted to go over it, but I thought best just to give it to you now. You can look at it whenever you have time. We can talk about it later. But I'll present him the poison sword.
Oh yeah, I was going over some options last night. Just thinking if you want to perhaps change anything. It is something you can look into. I've been working on these different types of poisons here, and he starts kind of like pulling you into the room a little bit.
Yeah.
I have these laid out on the table here. You see 4 different vial-like jars.
Mm-hmm.
One is like a bright ass green. One's kind of like a dark evergreen, Christmas green kind of green.
Mm-hmm.
You see one that is like red, and then you see one that's black. So he's like, oh yeah, these are the different types of poisons I've been working with. I've been trying to figure out kind of what might be best suited for your needs given the sword. What's your fighting style like? What do you do?
It's kind of hard to describe. So picture I'm at the far side of the room. And in the next 6 seconds, I'm going to run across the room, stab you, and then run back to that side of the room. Generally. It's very quick, very in and out. I prefer one really good stab over 3 pretty okay stabs.
So you probably want something that lasts a little bit longer. And he kind of ponders a little bit. It's probably... Well, I'm going to be honest with you. This one here is a poison-based necrotic composition that I've been conducting, and
Like,
it's the black one.
like it causes decay?
In a way, it causes your skin to rot.
Oh.
My head peeks in. Rot?
Yes, rot. Very infectious diseases I've used to be able to create this sort of poison. This one here, it burns your skin entirely. It just burns your flesh. It's a composition mixture of poison with acid. This one here doesn't really do too much. It's not as strong as other poisons, but it is stronger than the base market ones you can get. And then this one here just gives you a really bad time. And it's the red one he's holding up.
A bad time.
Continue?
It tastes like strawberries. It's a fool's poison.
So, you mean it tricks you into eating it or ingesting it in some way, but in a sword form? I feel like...
Yeah, you're right.
Did that
And he
stab
puts
for
it on the
6
shelf.
years?
Okay.
Anyone else smell strawberries?
Okay.
Is that a hint of lavender in there?
Gentleman with
I just to show you what this thing does, I'll pull it out. I like to imagine that when I attune to it, a word was like ringing in my mind about it. So I'll just be like, like all of a sudden, like, I don't know, I had to make up a word that like,
That's the
Yeah.
whole point.
Dressive. Okay, but then all of a sudden it just starts weeping venom and kind of show them and like, oh, like try to put something into a vial. Does it disappear as soon as it hits the vial?
Before you even do that, he just immediately, without hesitation, grabs the sword, just barehanded, pulls out a handkerchief from his robe, just kind of glides it across the sword, and then just goes, oh, okay. And just starts just rinsing it. Again, bare glove, nothing protecting his own skin.
Mhm.
I kind of just tells you off the bat, like, yeah, this guy deals with a shit ton of poison. He's, like, probably immune to a lot of it at this point.
Super complacent, but probably just been seen a lot. Look, so I don't know if it's the same for you. That's what I heard. It came to me when I was sleeping. If you spend some time with it, sure you'll be able to do the same. Yeah, so then you know what you get with it. All of the poisons you mentioned, the rots sounds the most intriguing. But
But
yeah.
you haven't heard about the other two yet.
Wait, did we not hear about all of them?
Yeah, you did.
Because it was acid and poison, full-blown necrotic, one that tastes like strawberries.
And then just one that was a higher rate than a base market poison.
Okay. I combined a few of those in my memory.
Okay.
I thought we were just referring to one.
No.
Because,
Like, how strong is the strong poison? Out of curiosity.
Well, it's really... It's hard to say. I'm
So-
sorry, you're already in the worse condition than you are in right now. I don't want to show you, I don't want to put your body through anything like that.
Well, like, let's say, like, does it kill a man? Does it kill, like, a horse? Does it kill, like, a moose? Does it kill, like, a bear? Does it kill, like, a giraffe? Does it kill, like... I just keep listing, like, larger and larger animals.
What's a giraffe?
So, okay, picture this.
Okay, never mind.
Picture you have a really tall-ass tree, and you need to get some leaves from it. And somehow, you have a neck that's 20 feet long. Perfect.
So, given the fact that my magic is a little on the controversial side, I can't exactly properly test it in the way that I would like to.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't actually answer your question properly.
Oh, so this is your own personal brew that just is quite strong.
Yes. I know it can at least kill a frog.
I think we might be able to help you with testing it.
Ooh,
Because we are controversial.
we no, perfectly legitimate. This happens from time to time. If you wanted us to test some poisons for you and then feed you back the results, we would probably gladly test these poisons for you.
Do you have time now?
Are there any reports of like missing students at the school?
I more like so. Okay, if you can set up a message, a way that we can communicate, or we can just loop back. We tend to get notifications, but either like there's like thieves guilds, there's like bandits, there's all these types of people who attack us generally when we're looking for stuff, and we would test it on them, and then we could feed you back these results.
I would not mind testing the strawberry flavor.
That's one.
It really does taste like strawberries. I tested it myself. But my constitution to poisons is a little bit on the higher side now, so nothing affects me if it's poisonous anymore.
And you still get drunk.
Can I test this too?
Absolutely. Any test subject, I'd love anything.
Poison.
Yeah, pick one! And he's all like, ah!
I don't think any of them affect you.
Here.
I'm resistant to them. I'm not immune.
Oh.
Unless they cause diseases, then. But
Well, like-
I want to try the strawberries.
He pulls that off the shelf.
So I drink it.
Okay, roll me a constitution save.
I'm watching you with a look of moderate concern, but also curiosity.
I'm excited.
8, 11.
I like the college students at the
11?
bar.
You take 6 poison damage.
Have that 3. So these are what strawberries taste like. I put it back down.
Well, yes and no. There is a slight aftertaste I found. It's not like true strawberry. It's got like a little bit of tang to it. But yeah, absolutely. If you guys are able to test these poisons for me, I'd love to hear all of the different data analysis, and that may actually complete my studies.
Okay. Which ones would you like us to test?
All of them.
Oh.
And he
I grabbed this file.
Hold on, which one did you grab? Okay. Roll me another constitution.
1.
I wanted the necrotic.
I need more dice.
I wanted the necrotic one.
That was the necrotic one.
You might not. You don't have resistance to necrotic, do you?
The necrotic? No.
Uh-oh. It
Unless it deals necrotic, yeah. I'm resistant to poison, but if it does necrotic damage, then my non-existent skin will melt away.
Yeah, but
My wood might melt.
yeah, like
Might just
like
attack the,
stone
the essence that
might have
binds.
something organic.
Well, I do
Or-
have wood and stone in me,
Yeah,
so those will just start dissolving away.
Okay.
And you can't be healed.
1, 2,
I can be healed.
3,
nope, you're a robot. Can't be done.
6 poison and 8 necrotic damage.
Wow.
3 poison, 8 necrotic.
I sat on my box.
8.
I feel like you need that on your
11
sword.
damage.
That is the one I think I would like the most. Looking at how this poison is so strong, it actually affected my robot friend
My
somewhat.
inside mechanics are tingling.
I think I can preemptively say that rather than have my sword taste like strawberries, I will opt for the necrotic if you have time. But we will gladly test these other ones for you.
Please, I will put these in to-go containers.
I'm just gonna imagine like how you take people's like, hey, taste my sword. It is like strawberry. I swear to you guys, like first guy's like, wow, and then you have this line, and finally your murder charge is like 4 people, and you're just like, you think you really take over? Whoa!
So he's starting to scuffle his desk around a little bit. And, like, his desk is, like, completely covered in different papers and, like, books and whatnot. It's, like, a completely messy desk. And he's... Yes?
Sorry. After the strawberry thing on the sword, I just couldn't help but think of in Warcraft 3, the Blade Master hero guy says, taste of my blade. It brings it to a whole new level when your sword tastes like strawberry. Taste of my blade.
But he's disheveling his desk around. Mandolin, you're not with them, correct? You went to the Elementalist.
Oh, I have advantage on saving throws against being poisoned. Does that count for those Constitution saves?
It would have, yes.
1, 3, 4, 5, 7, people.
Say one more time.
I went wandering. I wanted to talk to the Elementalist people.
Okay. So you're not in the room at this time. What's everybody's passive perception?
16.
No, it's not that high.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like 16 or something.
For being a wise robot, I don't think I'd be drinking poison.
Passive perception is 15.
You're capturing your own data.
I'm gonna write my notebook.
Passive 14.
So you notice something that kind of is not paper on his desk.
It's a ball.
Paperweight.
You might think it's a paperweight, but you see a white something underneath a bunch of papers, and it looked like it has a crack through it.
Intriguing. I'm gonna go grab it.
Whoa, hey, these are sensitive things here!
I drank poison for you. I just wanted to see what this was.
Oh, you mean this? He picks it up, and it's a broken mask. Like, it's a
examine it?
straight up mask that was broken in half, and it's got one single crack on the whatever remains. And you do see a bit of, like, red paint on it as well.
How did you break it?
Oh, I didn't break it. It was my, companions?
I'm gonna look at him with like the most sincerity in my eyes you've seen this entire time. Like, so like super picture, like super warm kitty eyes, like kind of sort of like, you can trust this.
Persuasion.
Put some boots in Shrek. Okay. I forgot that I could actually just roll. A layout gun?
They promised not. I made a promise. I'm really sorry.
What if I told you we had... I'm gonna look at the other people like in the room, like... I'm gonna kind of like look at you like and like nod, like tell them more.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to... I'll reach into my backpack and I'm gonna produce the mask that I had.
Holy cats! Where did you get that?
This one was there was like this little like bog on a lost island. There was a bog, which is like outside of the gate to the Fae. This thing was guarding the gate. You killed it. Whatever.
So yeah, you basically see the mask in his hand, and he's grabbing the mask from your hand, Shoal. He's trying to like examine it a little bit further.
I will let him have it while still giving him and as he takes up like as much as your our man in this in academics, we are your hand outside as well.
He's running his fingers along the mask, and he's flipping it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Do not put it on.
Oh, trust me, I am fully aware of that.
We have some hypotheticals of what might happen, but
I have some hypotheticals of my own. Remember how I said I was the ancient professor?
is this what happened?
This is what happened.
You put on the mask.
You see, I was part of a research group with two others. One from the Blessed faction, one from the Night faction. And we were supposed to be observing these creatures, these individuals. And in doing so, we discovered that these things had unique properties. It seemed like each mask had its own focus, its own magic that came from it. We theorized that it was a magic of the god. Just some sort of god bestowed some sort of power behind these masks and created these creatures to roam our land. We don't even know how many of these creatures there are.
Probably at least up 4.
Wait, you have found more?
We've heard of more. Definitely found at least like one other one, but yeah. Just so you know, you might want to keep it on the down low. We know for a fact that the Thieves Guild is also very interested in these things.
Yeah. They were the ones that took her journal. My partner.
Mm-hmm. Yolanda? Who's the Yolandas? Or Tiana?
It was Tialana's.
Tiana.
Once her journal was taken, our research was pulled. We went from Cavern, we came back here. The two of them went off, did their own thing, and I moved into the Skull faction. We were told to halt our research and never touch it again.
Mm-hmm.
There were other professors that weren't very pleased with our research, let's just put it that way, but there was one particular individual who seemed a little bit more interested in our research than others. But I'm surprised that she didn't take our side. But she asked for all my research papers, so I gave them to her, and
Who was this professor?
it's the dragon faction. Rita.
How am I not surprised?
Could you describe this professor? Like how they look?
Well, she is about yay high, and he's going up above him. She's got big ponytail, white hair. She's got red scales along her face, beautiful yellow eyes.
Was this the one we saw just last night?
I don't know, was it?
But we're just.
Do I
asking-
roll?
One.
2 ones, thankfully. It's 11. I'm not sure what I'd be adding to that. Imagine, like, perception.
Yeah, perception or your just straight intelligence.
Straight intelligence. That's not as high. I'm just gonna do the perception. That'd be a 16.
Yeah, so it was her.
I knew it. I'm like,
Sounds like an interesting woman, to say the least.
Someone worth investigating.
Yes. Cautiously, though. That seems like sounds like a handful of a faction, and probably even more so for the leader.
But perhaps they like strawberries.
She does like strawberries.
When he was talking about her, what kind of like was it? Just like he like as like a colleague? That seemed like they were more friendly.
Roll an insight.
Okay.
You know she likes
Tell
strawberries.
me anything?
If you want to roll an insight, you can.
My insight's actually pretty good. 22.
I take the dogs.
15 plus 7.
$22.
Perfect.
Wow.
Nice.
Soul read.
You're a machine! Oh, wait.
Lunch. It definitely seems like he has kind of like that classic schoolboy crush, where he's like, oh, she's just really pretty, she's got fair skin, and he just kind of like points out like the weird things.
The beautiful icon that's kind of got.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna kind of like give him that like slight knowing nod. I'm like,
It's also kind of like, oh my god, somebody wanted to look at my research and take it for their own, and just read it over, and
She's pretty, but she's taller than me, and I just not understand women taller than me.
I'll make like a slight glance at you guys. I'm just gonna kind of like give like a little like, about this dragon lady, but
she doesn't have any classes today. We can go to her office and to her dorms.
yeah, I feel like
Perhaps she would like to know more about the mask you discovered.
this mask, this very specific mask. I think that would probably be okay.
The only one we have.
Yeah. This is a shame. You have, for rumors of some might be, but so far, yeah. If you think that would be something we should do, I've seen no reason why we should not talk to her.
Yeah, let me grab my things, and he starts pulling a bag aside, and he starts loading up his bag a bit. And he kind of does the whole, like, spruce himself up a little bit. Do I look okay?
Stand beside me, you'll look fabulous.
Right. Are you sure there's nothing we can do?
I don't know. Some of these smells are new today. I don't. It's not like sulfur. It's like phosphorus now.
The Draconic faction isn't that far away. Come with me.
I'm excited. I'm gonna
yeah.
become a Dragon Faction member.
So,
Dragon
Madeline,
Uh-huh.
moving on to you real quick here.
Okay.
You were going to the Elements faction. So you were you asked around, and you know eventually you find your way towards the Elementalist faction house. You come across a very small, petite looking kind of like cottage-ish looking house.
The Wally Spring is fine.
No. Stop. There are, there's a small water fountain at the front. There is torches. There are different plants. Like, it's definitely like there's a lot going on with this sort of house. It's basically covered in different sort of materials and different sort of things. But it's really small. It's very petite, very cute. At the front door, you do see a lady in yellow walking out. She's a very small halfling lady. And she's walking out with a couple books in hand. She's got a bag on. She's got big, thick, round glasses. It appears to be fairly old.
Hey, are you the teacher here?
Oh, why, yes, of course. What can I do for you? Are you eager to learn?
Yeah, I'm here for just a little bit, but I figured we could talk to someone who knows this stuff.
Oh, but of course. What would you like to learn? What can I do for you?
Well, pretty much. Very good at burning stuff, and that's about it. So I figure might as well try and get better at burning stuff. You know, that's what they always say. If you're good at one thing, do it and ignore everything else.
Are you okay, my child?
What was that?
Are you okay? Well, no matter. Why don't we, why don't you attend one of my classes? I'm heading there now.
How long is that? And how much? Okay, yeah, sure.
Alright, today we are focusing on weather control. If that's something you're interested in. We haven't dabbled too much in fire this week. Right now it's just strictly weather. Primarily lightning today.
Sorry for wasting your time. No, I'm just gonna leave.
Okay.
Fire lightning! Fire lightning!
Come back anytime, I suppose. I'm always accepting new students eager to learn.
Alright, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
I'm like doing that thing where I'm not quite running, but I'm walking as fast as possible.
Okay.
Like, oh god, lightning, that's so lame!
You're walking away and you're coming across back to the main fountain area. You happen to notice a familiar figure. And that figure is the mage from the cave. And he just walks right out.
Sorry, the maid from the cave?
Correct. The mage that had escaped the cave.
Oh, I should make it known, I didn't see that one because I was further back and they teleported out before I got there.
That means neither have seen each other though.
That's true.
You have the perfect advantage.
Yeah.
But based on the description,
A bald man.
there's a bald guy in a red robe walking in front of you.
I'm like, oh, and I'll just like try to clumsily follow them.
He straight up just leaves through the main golden gates.
Oh, he's dead. I didn't realize this.
I'll just,
Went
I'll just keep following, I guess.
As soon as he goes through the gates, about 10 feet away from them, he teleports.
This guy loves his teleporter.
It's really
Wait.
flaunting it.
I'll just like creep off back towards my friends, like towards where I last saw them.
Okay. You guys end up crossing paths at this point. From you guys heading out of the Skull faction on your way to the Dragon faction with Califer leading the way. Yeah, you guys see Mandolin just right off.
Question: those flashbangs, is it like how? Is it just like an action to use one? Is this like what? Just like a throwable, then it has a range. And, okay.
You just see like connecting like four of them with like a rope and just like throwing them all out at one time.
Digger flashbang. Yeah.
Alright, so you guys start going through the Dragon faction. You notice a lot of the students are not present within the grounds of the Dragon faction. As you approach, it's big stone walls, very ominous sort of looking sort of dorm. No windows, no nothing. It's very big stone slate, dungeon looking kind of thing.
Which one is this? The
Dragon faction, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Big red banners with lettering in Draconic that basically just says things in Draconic, unless anybody knows Draconic.
I'm double checking
I'm just
that.
kind of picking my ear, looking at it.
Overcompensating, typical dragons.
Did you read?
Damn it.
Do you
I
read?
know speech. No. I'm just acting smart with my low intelligence.
See speech and primordial, but not draconic. Why do pick such weird secondary
And it's funny, I
languages?
normally always take Draconic on like every character just because it's that language.
The one
The
time.
one time I don't.
So yeah, Califer pulls out his key once again, holds it up to the door, unlocks it, pushes through. Right this way. I think her office is this way. He starts walking into the dorm room here.
Mental note, I need to get me one of those keys.
Walking in, the same stone motif is going into the interior of the inside. It's very dark, very bleak looking kind of structuring.
Love it.
Laced with torchlight along the hallways.
Don't love it anymore.
It's got like a dark red carpet rug just lining the hallway. He walks up, and you, my good sir, with your sense of smell blood.
Fresh blood.
Fresh blood.
Do I recognize the type of creature this would blood out? Is it humanoid blood or is it like animal blood? Like, does it have distinct scent?
It's definitely something you haven't smelled like animal-wise before, but it's definitely some sort of humanoid, like you may have killed it at some point in your travels.
Just
I'm going to
iron.
look back
Very
at them.
iron-rich, yeah.
Eyes kind of go up, like I'm a little bit excited, and I start booking it towards the smell. Like, full on dashing it.
Yeah, so you follow the scent, and Califer's like, hold on, wait for me! And he's kind of like trying to run, but he's not as fast as, he's not very athletic as you guys are.
I'm keeping pace with Caliber.
He
You're excited to
immediately kind of like stumbles in the process as well. And you guys make it to a big wooden door that's completely locked.
Given my speed and excitement, when I come across this door, I will try to twist the handle, presuming it is unlocked, and I will, like, try to ram my way into it.
At this particular point, I'm going to get Califer's attention, and I am going to... I'll disguise myself to remove the dragon burn marks. Just so he doesn't wig out there, like, try to act like it's like I just look like my normal show self. But it lasts for an hour.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll use that for the day. I'm like, it's a little less to explain. It's fine. Anyway. So following, keeping pace.
Yeah, so you guys make it to the door there. And Califer walks up and, Rita, it's me.
Open
Nothing.
this door, fool. Splats. I smell blood.
Nothing.
Still looking at the Caliber Galley. Open the door!
Key, door, open, stop.
My key doesn't work like that, I'm sorry.
I will attempt to. I'll just gesture him to like move slightly aside. I will attempt to break to pick the lock really quick.
Sleight of hand.
Plus my sleight of hand, yeah. I think I'm proficient. I don't think I have expertise.
It's probably like a plus, like, 7.
Plus 6, so 14.
Yeah, so you start feeling a little bit of a click. You struggle a little bit more, you feel another click. But there's still a part that you can't quite go through.
Could I attempt to try to... I don't know if it like raises difficulty or whatever. Could I attempt to I'll try to force it a little bit to try to get that last piece.
Yeah. Roll me one other sleight of hand check.
16 that time.
Yeah. Click.
So basically it starts bending that like last lock pick where at the point where like anymore it's probably a snap and okay.
Yeah. And eventually
Scott, something needs to oil these things. Just open the door.
Yeah, throw open the door and head inside.
immediately blood all over the room. Like, I'm
What?
talking blood splatters all over the room. Like, the floor's covered in blood, the wall's covered in blood.
Brandon, I can't get more excited than I already am.
Ah.
Please.
I'm going to. I'll step in front of Califer. I'm going to draw my dagger, quickly twirl it. I'm looking around. Do I hear or see anything? Like, are windows open? Is there like a chimney someone could have gone out?
No window. It's just the door.
Is there a body?
Pieces.
Is it the lady we're looking for?
You see a hand, you see a bit of a leg, you see snow white hair on the
God.
desk.
Damn it.
Snow white hair.
Snow white hair.
Does it anyone I know? Like, is there anyone I know who has this color of hair?
This is Rita's office.
Killed the sexy half-dragon lady.
Califer drops everything to the ground. Like, you hear of all of his things.
I'm going to enter the room, trying to step around the bloody and chunks, and I want to see if there's any signs of an individual still being in the room that could have done this, or any indication of how it happened.
Investigation.
While this is going on, I'm looking out the door to see if anyone's noticing, and I'm trying to calm Califer down.
As soon as you turn around and see Califer, he's not himself anymore. What you see before you is no longer an elf.
What do I see?
You see a dark red-skinned tiefling.
And he just looks shocked.
He is completely shocked.
I'm going to... So when I touched him earlier, he felt the same size, though?
Yeah.
This looks exactly the same size.
Same size and everything, just you see dark red skin, a tail, and black horns.
Black horns. Does he have like a black complexion or red complexion?
He's got like a dark crimson red complexion.
I'm just gonna say Califer. I'll snap it in front of his eyes a little bit. I'm like, okay, I need you to stay very, very calm, and we're gonna take a minute to look this over, and then we probably need to notify, like, who the fuck's the guard? And he says, like, this is the headmaster. Who the fuck are we telling about this?
He like grabs his face, kind of like I don't know what to do. He starts like still panicking, and like you can tell he's getting way more flustered even after you kind of broke him out of that little trance there.
I'm like, look at me, deep breath. who is in charge besides her? Is it other professors, or who's above the professors?
There's no one. We were all one council. There is no headman.
Okay, so there's a council. You need to tell the council.
We were with. Oh God.
What do I give? You might as well do your searching
Probably
while.
the guy who I saw teleport outside the gate, I imagine. Internal conflict.
What was your investigation?
11.
Okay. With that 11, you don't find anything super significant on the wall.
Hmm.
You do see something kind of like written in the blood.
Oh, there's writing in the
They're
blood.
writing in.
Is it in a language? What does it look like? Is it a registered language?
What are all the languages you guys can read or
Common, deep speech, and primordial.
I believe.
Celestial, Inferno, and Elvish.
I believe. Dog's just making sounds. I'm pretty sure I just speak Elvish. I'm trying to find it. Elvish and Common, I think.
Okay. You.
Common, Druidic, Goblin, Orc, Fury.
So just you. Read out. He will rise once more, the king of demons.
I read that out loud so everybody hears it.
Okay, fucking bastards. Okay, well. So that answers my question that we've had, that these people are on the demon side of things. I think we have two options. We just fucking go, what we've been seeing here, and we're new people, they'll probably stick out. Or we try to notify. I'm gonna ask Alpha, like, is there anyone else on the council you trust?
Well, of course. Tialana and Yolanda.
Okay, let's start there. Do you know where they went? You talked yesterday?
They said they had some business they needed to take care of, and that they would be gone for about a day.
Looking over the corpse, does it look like it was like physically chopped apart, or does it look like just like spell things?
It
exploding?
looks like someone went, explode, and she went, boom!
Mm-hmm.
So no
So it's kind of like
reply.
a chunky soup blood.
Yeah, pretty much.
Looking over, this is kind of like a very specific thing. You see like explosion and like gore everywhere. Is there a curiously clean spot of gore? Like there's something like she exploded and then someone took something. Like is there like a clear patch anywhere? Like something that got moved?
No.
So you just had information.
Unless you want to roll me an investigation.
Sure. I will attempt.
Is there still a head around?
The guy I saw
Ooh,
out
17
there,
plus.
and like
I think 0.
asked if he's seen him before and where he hangs out and what their relationship was.
17.
17? Okay. 2 seconds. What was your question?
Is her head still around?
Pieces of it?
Is there a mouth?
No.
Okay, I can't speak to dead.
Okay.
I feel like you
There's
need
like
more
a
than just
nose.
lips for that to work,
It's
but that's meta game.
You like see an eyeball on her desk, and
Is it a pretty yellow eyeball?
It
The
is a
corpse
pretty
must
yellow
still have
eyeball.
a mouth and can't be undead. So if there's a mouth.
There's there's
Okay, so white hair, I'm like, well, we don't know. Sorry, I see the yellow, I'm like, oh fuck. Okay, well, clearly,
He can have a memento.
I am not going there.
what is this, Hunter? So he begins to explain that the person you described, Mandolin, was kind of like her right hand in terms for her specific research. Her research was more relevant to utilizing draconic magic in different ways, but then combining it with other magic and not making it strictly under the draconic lineage, but enabling draconic magic to be utilized by anybody. So she was trying to manipulate a way to pull that draconic energy and consumption to this new kind of way of magic users, for magic users. And she was using him as kind of like the medium of her research, like the second assistant,
Who's this bald guy?
was this bald guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I also have another level. So, why would they need goblins for that kind of work? Do you know?
I'm gonna start looking out. Like, I'm assuming that checks happened, but then I will also be, as soon as that's done, I'll probably take a look outside and just make sure no one comes.
Going to your initial check, your investigation there. What was that again?
17.
17. You do, before you even step outside, you do see a bunch of papers that are still readable and not covered in blood. One of them sticks out in particular, and it is an image of Livy.
I'm going to gravitate to that one and start reading it. I'm going to try to not touch it. Is it actually open enough where I can read that page?
Yeah, it's just like, it's got like a little bit of blood speckle. It's like it was on the far end of her desk.
What? I'll start reading that then, I guess.
It is straight up a bounty for Levy's head for killing the Kraken.
How much?
10,000 gold pieces. Wanted dead for murder.
I just want to point out,
Seems super crazy.
more than yours.
Yeah. Mine was because I was beautiful. Yours is because you're an ass.
Sorry, Eric, what was your question again?
But I wasn't just an ass. I was an extreme asshole. We were
Damn wise
playing
working
Goblins, right.
goblins for that.
He theorizes that it could be unethical testing that they were probably conducting, considering how he's not able to do the tests that he wants to do in grounds. There are ways to experiment different magics and different things off grounds. So that's mostly what was probably happening, was she was taking her magic studies off grounds and testing away from the school.
Do you inform me about this bounty out of curiosity?
At this point, I'm just reading it through, but once I see it, I actually don't. I'll gesture to you. I'll point at the bounty.
I am not interested in the bounty itself. I'm interested on who is this supposed to go to. Who do we take these bounty to get the money from?
You see on the bottom of the document the name Corbin written on there.
Corbin.
God fucking name.
Corbin de Norla.
Make a note of that.
I will make a note of that.
Excellent, because this guy here is getting in on my business.
Denora.
And as Livy, the best Kraken ever, King of the Bounty, I need to go take this guy out.
Okay.
Right.
I was just say, like, my first thoughts, betrayal on. He wants to take her research. Maybe, like, he's just exposed to his true cultiness at this point. But, holy shit, I think we need to get a hold of Yolanda and Tiolana as quick as we can.
This is my fault. This is all my fault.
Way.
She wanted my research to help with her research. And I was super excited. I didn't even think about it.
You did not facilitate a crazy cultist enacting in the insane name of a demon. This is not on you. But we can help. You can help us find and deal with this asshole.
I suppose. He starts kind of rifling through her papers a little bit to try to find his research papers.
I will. I'm gonna quickly. I'll help him rifle through the decks. Is your name still pending?
Or is it Shadows?
I believe
But
Brent's name is Shadow.
But his nickname is Pending.
He's deep in
Brent?
focus.
Brent.
I was just like, do you mind posting up at the door? Just like, make sure no one comes in here. Just because I'm really afraid someone walking in on us by the fucking corpse. Rifling
I'll
through
go
her
and shut the
shit.
door behind me, then just stand there.
Okay, I will help. I'm gonna help.
Quick question though, is that
Califer.
bounty like its own sheet or is it like...
Yeah, it's like a strip. It's like a scroll.
Okay, I'm gonna take that scroll and I'm gonna like give it to you. Like, just, like press against it, just like, in case we run into this individual, easy way in.
I'm going to smirk and it's like, it's worked before. And I'll tuck it inside my coat.
And I will thumbs up.
Can you roll me an investigation real quick?
Okay. I basically am asking him what he's looking for, and I'm trying to help him find what he is looking for, specifically.
Yeah, he's looking for anything to do with his research.
7.
7? You do see a couple of pages with Corbin's name on it, but you do also see a signature that you've seen before on a different document entirely.
So...
Like, it just, you see a document, you just quickly look at it, you see the signature, and kind of like, huh, that looks familiar. And,
I'll flip back to it.
roll me an intelligence to see how familiar that signature is to you.
Not very.
You rolled a 1, didn't
No,
you?
3.
3. You saw it a long time ago, but it's just the way it flowed.
What's
kind
the
of just
what's
like,
the name of on the signature?
It's one of those signatures you can't quite really tell.
Oh, so it's just a big siggy?
Yeah, it's big.
I'm going to take that particular piece of paper, and I'll spend some more time with it later.
Okay.
See if I can remember. I'll quickly show it to Califer. I'm like, you know what this is?
Oh yeah. This is weird. It's a grant. That's what it is. Sometimes we get corresponding cities sending us grant money to help with any sort of accommodations that they need, any sort of fixer-uppers. We do have a lot of magical people. Magical people can fix things for a city. This one in particular is from Locktail.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like that there was a study she was supposed to conduct, and she was supposed to do so by any means necessary.
Someone's supposed to conduct it. Who's it signed by?
I don't know. I've never dealt with Locktail before, but...
Okay. Definitely pocketing that one. I'll keep it by the Kraken. The hunt for the new Krakens thing.
The greatest Kraken.
Yeah. Oops. 10G. 10K. Bounty. For Levi. Found Grant in Rita's.
By the end of this campaign, I want to have a bounty greater than Luffy's.
Good luck with that.
From Locktail. Signature is familiar, but can't identify. Okay.
Out of curiosity, for Shawl's bounty, was it like a very feminine kind of image with like a big curly brow?
What?
No, it was not.
Just
It
say one.
was a very floofy, fuzzy kitty.
It was a reference to One Piece, how the cook has
Yeah.
like the most feminine looking art.
Okay.
So Caliber starts pulling all of his, what papers he had left together and starts putting them in his bag. And he says that he just needs to find one more thing, hoping that it's still around. And he starts kind of rifling through. He starts opening up cabinets and kind of rifling through.
I'm gonna ask him what it is, and again try to help him find it.
Blood vials. She asked for blood samples.
From?
Me. Rita was the only person.
Oh, I'm gonna look at you, leave. I'm like, I think this is more your expertise. If it's blood.
I get a big stretch and it's like, oh yeah. And I have to the only problem is there's a lot of blood on the ground. I could try and use my sense of smell to hopefully smell this blood, but I imagine it's rather sealed, so it might be difficult, and there's a lot of blood on the ground, so.
Here, let me help. May I? He grabs a hold of whatever sharp thing he's trying to gesture towards.
What's he want?
Present a nail.
They're attached to my claws.
I'm obviously handing out my paw. What's he fucking want?
Do you mind cutting me?
Oh, I'm going to. I'll my one claw that's really sharp. I'll give a little rake with.
And then here.
I'm gonna approach him back. I think I got it. And then I'm going to travel around the room. Because obviously I don't want to be where the main blood spill is. That's not going to help. I'm going to work around the outside of the room first to see if I can locate.
Please make me the roll.
And I'm going to roll a dice that's different than the one that's only rolled 1s and 11s this entire day.
Watch it roll a 1.
15! And then whatever bonus I'm going to do on that. If we do investigation, it's 0. If it's nature, it's +3.
Will be... Because you're basing off a sense of smell, we'll go with nature.
18 total.
You find the scent, like you find a bit of a trail of the scent in a cabinet, but there's nothing there.
It appears that whoever took the life of our teacher also took the blood samples.
Have you any idea why they would want your blood in particular? Because of your heritage?
Rita was the only other person, aside from Tialana and Yolanda, who knew who I am. Or what I am. He kind of gestures. Tieflings aren't exactly well-liked anymore, or never really was to begin with. In the big cities, a little bit different, but in rural areas such as this, given our past, we don't really seem to get along with a lot of people. So I disguise myself in the hopes of trying to teach, study, do my research, and live a secondary life, essentially. But when I got to know Rita and her excitement with her research, she took my research for notes, and she said all the things she wanted to do, and I'm just afraid that she may have gotten involved with the wrong people.
Again, I'll give him that, like, because I'm assuming we're like close. I'm gonna give him like the brief pat in the like upper back, and be like, Taylor, sorry for your loss.
She was looking at demonic, draconic, and fey magic. Her goal was to utilize all of them combined together and make it so that you did not have to be of that lineage.
So you said draconic, fey,
And demonic.
and demonic. Okay. Demonic. Magic. So you said there's a fey and a draconic school. Is there an infernal demonic school amongst?
He kind of just calmly
No, but like as an actual form of study, I guess not.
No. Demonic magic is extremely frowned upon. But
I really think we need to. We should very quickly look up at the Fey professor because they might be in danger.
Rita and Coraline never got along at all.
I think the person who murders Rita might go murder Coraline. Or Coraline might be involved. Either way, we need to investigate this person.
We should eliminate this assistant of the professor as quickly as possible.
Agreed.
And also, out of respect, you should ensure that her research does not go wasted. But that is for you. I had done this individual and ensure justice is served.
With all due respect, I feel like this should be destroyed.
What the current with everything here?
Everything.
I disagree.
I'm going to look at it and look at like is my read just is it just it do I just I'm busy trying to get the magic like is it just pure regret that he just wants this stuff destroyed?
Yeah. Like, you don't even need to like insight or anything. Yeah, it's.
And it's like I'm just gonna ask him like, do you regret the research itself? Like, do you think it itself is for evil gains, or do you think that do you just regret giving to Rita?
all of it. The masks themselves were based off of curse magic.
The research that's about the masks as well.
It has to be. Why else would these creatures be the way they are? There's no explanation.
I think we need to get these research books because they might include information on the masks.
Yeah.
If he's going to destroy them, we should at least take them because I want to learn how to cast dragon magic, fey magic, demon magic.
I'm gonna ask us like, if you can trust us, we would like to take the research, look it over, see what we can find. Maybe it'll lead us to these people, what's going on, or at least something more about these masks. We know what they're after. If we know what they're after, we can actually counter what they're doing somewhat intelligently, besides just trying to kill.
Persuasion.
I feel like I made a pretty cogent argument.
Yeah, so you get like a +2. Invisible +2.
17.
He reluctantly agrees.
Woo!
And cheered character.
I introduced you
That
to a
makes
trust
sense.
counter. I told him to. I hope I prove that I can learn it. I'll
Is there a backpack?
I'll start. Yeah, do we have that?
Is there like a backpack or a sack that like just sitting there that I can just grab and start shoveling the books into? Basically?
Well, he already did that in his own bag. Like, he grabbed
Oh,
all his
sorry.
stuff and put it in
I
his
missed
bag.
that.
Yeah. I'm just gonna look at them like, I think we should get the fuck out of here. We should meet up with Yolanda and Tiolana, and we should talk about this, and then go see this core line. Like, so I'm just looking at you guys like, how you feel? We're with Eric's with us, right, mentally?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like we need to meet up with Yolanda and Tiolana if we can, and or go see this core line because I think they're a link in some way.
Quick question: would you describe the Renita as being a creature with 0 hit points?
Well, right now, like, -0.
Okay. So spare the dying won't work.
Oh, so,
That's the first thing I thought when I walked in there.
I know. I had to make a bad joke because you asked about make your talk. Well, I could just.
she is beyond dead at this point.
Yeah.
So if she's at 0 the only
Also,
stipulation
the
is 0
necromancy teacher is even like,
I'm at this point. I feel like we've combed over the room quite a bit. I'm going to try to gesture for us to mosey on out and try to I don't think we should literally get back. Looking around, like how busy is it outside? Like when we walked in, like how many people were around here?
there, no, around this vicinity, it was like 2 people.
Okay. I think it might be worth trying to not be particularly sane, but we should not act conspicuous. I think we should just walk out of here. I really think we need to tell Dion and Yolanda as soon as possible, so that it's now three professors of the council for what the fuck is happening. But let's try to get them on board and then go find the score line.
Califer immediately just kind of waves his hand, and you see the elven form that you saw once before. He looks at you guys, and I think this is a state of an emergency. Leave it in my hands. I will call for a council meeting. And he leaves all of his stuff and just walks right out the door.
Well,
And
I'll pick up those books, throw them on my shoulder.
We'll pick up the research, that he packed up.
as soon as you do that, you realize this is actually lighter than what the bag seemed to be.
I will open it.
And you see kind of like a black void.
Close it back up. And then I think about it for a moment. 'Cause I don't think I've ever seen one of these.
As you're thinking, you hear, and it's like this big alarm, and all like you can hear bustling.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
At first, I open up the bag and just look inside, make sure the alarm isn't coming from the bag. And then I close it up and I throw it over my shoulder and I follow the rest.
Yeah.
As you start walking outside, you immediately notice like this big rainbow iridescent kind of looking barrier coming across the sky.
Pew 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 pew. Sounds incredible.
And then it seems like there's some sort of announcement going on. And basically, it's Califor calling for that council meeting. And they all are told to group at the main front fountain.
I'm actually going to go to the fountain just in case this guy's going to be ballsy enough to make a play there.
Same. As we're walking there, I was like, maybe we spread out in the crowd, we keep an eye line on each other, but...
Give you the thumbs up, and then immediately disappear into the crowd outside your view, because I just... Because I'm just a solo hunter. I'm just like, yeah, it's a great idea, and I just don't care.
So as you guys approach the fountain, you realize that the barrier is coming from this fountain. It's the one protruding this kind of weird magical barrier. And you see all of the professors holding up their keys, kind of strengthening the barrier. It's like emitting some sort of glow from their keys. You do notice that Tialana and Yolanda are not present, but they are, you can kind of like, you smell them. So they are within the area. They're not at the meeting, but looking at it and counting all the factions, they're all there but the one, the Draconic faction.
I should have grabbed her key. Damn it.
Yeah.
Califor begins the council meeting and starts explaining what you had all found, and explains that Rita has been murdered.
I have a bag of her research that I'm like right nearby. Maybe not the poison.
He starts making kind of like accusations that there is most likely a murder amongst the group, amongst the students. Some people automatically are like, well, what about the visitors that came last night? And you can kind of like hear that amongst the students. 1, 2, 3. You feel a hand on your shoulder.
Aggressive, stern, gentle.
Very like, just straight hand, no animosity behind it.
I am going to just kind of brush it up, and then I'm going to turn to see who it is.
Tialana.
Hello, Tialana.
At first glance, she's got kind of like a cloak over her head, but you immediately just like, oh, it's you.
It is good to see you again.
What the hell happened? We need to get out of here now.
The teacher was killed by the individual we were hunting.
Everybody's there. So she kind of just starts pulling. He's gone now. God damn it!
So,
What's the average height of people around here?
Average. and they range anywhere from like 4 feet to like 6'5" to like.
My guy's 6'5", so do I just kind of like stand out in the whole crowd?
Yeah. I mean, no, you're the only Warforged there too, so.
That too. I need to play it off in elf in armor.
Yeah. We need to go. We've got a lead.
Silent thumbs up. I will then look to see if I can notice any of my allies, and so therefore I can gather them up.
I was trying to maintain an eye line on everyone as like part of the thing. Like we weren't directly beside each other, but we were all keeping eyes on each other.
Imagine I can spot you fairly easily, and then once I
Yeah.
find you, if you're keeping eyesight, I should be able to track you down.
Yeah, I think you said you dipped off without me seeing it. And honestly, you would be able to. So I would be seeing him, Mandolin, and yeah.
So I'm thinking, find him because he'll stand out. Then by me finding him, you'll instantly be like,
Yeah,
ooh.
I think we can do the eye glances around and get attention. That's probably.
And that was also so short. All I need to do is kind of like crouch down, look between people's legs, and I'll see her.
So she starts kind of grabbing your hand and just kind of like pulling you away.
I will allow it to happen and travel with.
If we can do this eye line game to notify each other, I'll follow suit.
Yeah. So you guys start kind of moving through the crowd a little bit as Califer is trying to draw all the attention to him. You can hear his voice getting louder and louder. He's basically kind of like putting himself in a targeted position. And you see kind of like very briefly he makes eye contact towards your group. And he continues just to kind of like, don't look at them, look at me. I'm the one you want to talk to right now. And he keeps kind of like, anytime someone kind of like says something, he kind of like raises his hand and like a flash of flames come. And he's like, he's getting angry at this point. He's no longer showing that regret, he's just anger.
I'm, in my heart of hearts, I hope that whatever he's trying to do, he does it very, very well as we walk away. But
yeah. He's basically trying to, at this point, you guys realize he's trying to distract the crowd to allow you guys to maneuver through them and out. I don't know what's going on out there. At the front gate where this barrier kind of stops, Yolanda's standing at the gate. She's got her own key in hand, and she takes the key and kind of makes a slashing motion with it, and it bricks the barrier, and just kind of like holds it open and goes, "Come on, guys, come on, let's go."
I will just duck my head and make my way out.
Cool. Assuming everybody follows, you guys make your way through the barrier and quickly out of the academy.
Okay. Unless they stop me, my goal is to head back to get my equipment.
They stop you.
Okay. I will look at them and be like,
Yes? Why are you stopping me?
Don't worry about that right now. Let's get out of here and let Califer handle the situation.
oh yeah, because my stuff is in the academy, isn't it?
It's in his faction. She holds up her wrist and you see a secondary golden bracelet.
I scowl and follow all the same.
Here,
I'm just annoyed.
take this. And she just gives you her sword for the time being.
I just shake my hand.
It's unnecessary.
Alright, let's take cover for now. And regroup tonight.
Fine. We will do it your way.
So Yolanda starts guiding you through the forest with Tialana taking the rear. And eventually you guys stop far enough away from the school where you start hearing all the sounds and all the commotion, and you guys take a moment to kind of reflect at this point.
I don't see why we had to leave.
I need you to make some rolls.
Okay.
Your instructions are in the notebook.
And I'm going to do this kind of off on the side so nobody sees me, but
Okay.
I feel like that'd be kind of weird right now. D10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4.
Oh gosh.
Oh, well, that's... If you're going down the list, like I can read here.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I don't remember what one.
Do you want to see your list?
Okay, hold on. Yeah, basically.
Okay.
That's kind of what I was... Dick sword. Is kind of what I was thinking of.
I walk away from the table for all of 30 seconds. And your dick sword.
Is Travis coming back?
I think he's just talking to the contract right now. I presume he plans on coming back as well if he lives here.
Has this death belt and leaves. Just taking a little hiatus.
So when you stain the death, let me know. I know a guy who sells stain.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay. Did I miss anything too crazy?
Yes, we got rushed out of the city.
And Dick's sword.
Yeah, and a sword shaped like a dick, I guess.
What?
It was a Brent thing.
It was a Brent thing.
Okay.
Yeah, your guys are in the forest right now, away from the academy, reflecting on what to do next.
Are we within the bubble?
No, you guys broke through the barrier.
Because of magic?
Because of magic, yes.
Okay. So, I'm just gonna ask Tiana. So, what do you know?
We touched base with all the professors, just trying to get some sort of information about Rita. We understand that she was undergoing some sort of research that was a little bit more controversial. She agreed amongst all the council to take her research off campus to allow her to conduct it properly. Now, in doing so, it sounded like she landed herself into some sort of trouble, and her connections with these people is what I guess Califer is referencing in the council meeting right now. Part of her research was conducting the experimental process of draconic, demonic, and fey magic, and making some sort of components that will enable her or any user to use that kind of magic without that bloodline lineage. We feel that doing so and her research with Califer's research, she may have been trying to recreate the masks.
Ew. We knew she was curious about masks. We knew about the draconic, demonic research. We had some, I kind of suspicion that maybe the Fey professor or one of their school might be a person of interest to look into because of they need the Fey as well. Rita was the draconic. You know about the demonic, and so Fey is kind of like the last wrinkle. Maybe they haven't been approached yet. Maybe they will be. This seems like a pretty drastic action. I figure if they're doing anything, like it's all happening now, I would assume.
Coraline was approached by Rita. She had asked her if there was some way she can harness Fey magic without Coraline assisting her in any way or form realistically. In doing so, Coraline trusted her with knowledge as to how to get to the Feywild to try to get a sense of the magic by itself. We believe that that's where people might be heading.
So, we know one way to the Fae. Do you know of any ways to the Fae?
I've never been, no, sorry. Coraline was a fairy. Was. So she was banished, so she lost a lot of her capabilities, but she still teaches Fey magic.
Is there any indication from the other teachers and educators of how close she was to understanding the masks and how to recreate them?
It seemed like she was very open about talking with everybody with the mask, about the masks. It seemed like it was no secret, which should have been a secret, but it seemed like she was fairly close in some sort of study, some sort of breakthrough she was about to hit.
If an individual like yourself came across her research, do you think you could understand it and decipher it?
I suppose it was very similar to the research she was doing, as she was taking our research to begin with.
Fantastic!
We're gonna go with the background. Boom!
I'm nodding to you the whole time. We're going on this line of thought.
I think this might be useful.
She opens the bag, and again, it's this black void. And she looks at you like, is this some kind of joke?
hand inside, books come out.
Roll me a D100.
Is it a bucket? Oh no, what? Around
Other things are gonna come out.
55.
55. You pull out a textbook that has like vines like entrapping it. It looks like some sort of locked diary of some kind that these vines are acting as a lock.
I look at Shaw, just like, is this what the books we put in?
No, I think that was already in there.
I reach in to grab another book. 72.
72. You find a piece of paper this time around, and it looks like a schedule.
I'm gonna look at that
We
book
should
if you don't mind.
somewhere dump out the whole.
Turn it upside down, shake it.
As an individual who would get quickly frustrated by this, I will try one more time. 56.
You find his lunch.
I turn this thing upside down and start shaking it violently in frustration. Like I clearly just don't understand how this thing works.
Yeah, so what basically falls out is a bunch of pencils, some quills, classic school supplies when you think about it. You find his textbook, his teaching textbook, his notes, and then you start finding the research papers that he had originally shoved in there.
Covered in blood.
Covered in all the blood, along with a couple of books that he was already carrying when he went in there.
The blood-soaked papers
I'm good.
are the important ones.
I'm gonna go ahead for the sake of it, just to protect the moment.
Yeah. So you do detect off the bat, the vine-covered journal has some sort of like magical traces behind it. A couple of his quills also have magic behind it, but nothing else too significant. You do feel like a little bit of a little itty-bitty tiny trace in a couple of the vials that had dropped out, but that's it.
The vials will do the same poison that we had before.
I'll go set aside and I protect them. And then put them in a little separate pile. We'll look at.
I just want to confirm what he's doing because my plan would be to take those vials, throw them over to Shaw for use, and then just shovel the rest of the useless stuff back right into the bag.
I'm just setting aside everything with magic into a little pile.
Okay.
So yeah, she starts kind of compiling all the research together, and yeah, a lot of it is what was Califer's actual physical notes from their research. And she looks at you guys, and she just kind of starts coming clean about what their research is, what they were trying to do. So she begins to explain that she and Yolanda are, or were, professors originally of this school, and they were first investigating a rift that had opened. So after investigating the rift, they found an individual who was wearing a mask, and they did not confront the individual. They left the individual on their own and just observed them. They did not interact, they did not do anything. It was literally a normal human being in colorful robes wearing a porcelain mask. And all they were doing was just walking around. They were not doing anything, they were just observing things from their appearance. Over time, after watching this individual just kind of mind their own business, it went away from any humanoid person, and its body began to contort, and eventually it turned itself into one of the monsters that you guys are more familiar with because you have not confronted one of them yet. And that's how they came under the theory that these masks are some sort of curse entity kind of mask, where if you wear one, you become cursed with some sort of an energy from the gods. Just because it was very particular, like it was. Yeah, after their research was like, yeah, there's the fire one, there's a one relevant to the earth, there's one relevant to the waters, and they kind of put that notion into like, well, if the sages were granted these powers, what if there were granted curses?
Do you think one could figure out how to use the masks without the downside of the curse?
I'm sure there's a possibility. We haven't been able to finish that part of the research yet. We were just told to observe. If we were threatened, we were told to attack. But we never actually got to complete our research entirely, so I unfortunately have no way of answering that.
Most unfortunate.
Indeed.
Hopefully, this research will help shed light on that question.
It appears in Rita's research here that she was utilizing the magic to create these masks as a replica. It was taking a curse-like momentum from the draconic lineage from her heritage, and she seems to have successfully created 2 half masks. So in a way, she was able to harness the likeness of the mask, but it was based off of draconic blood. So with that, she may have been trying to recreate it with demonic magic from Califer and Fey magic from the Feywild. She has Califer's blood. I know that now, but she doesn't have anything from the Feywild yet, or she didn't have anything from the Feywild yet.
And we think this is where her accomplice has headed.
Most likely, yeah.
Then, we must find our way to the bay.
I don't know about you, but I have no knowledge of the Fays.
I think there's 2 options. We have knowledge of the gates on an island that's quite hard to find. Or we can ask Coraline. Or we try to find our comrade Taps. He has a local companion who might be able to help us. These would be the options I see. I'm gonna look to Yolanda, and Yolanda's like, do either of you or both of you have a better relationship with Coraline than Rita?
Let's put it this way. Coraline was the bitch of the group. She didn't like anybody. It was her way or no way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nobody got along with her at all.
Mm-hmm.
She had no friends, so she had no friends.
Mm-hmm. Seems like a hard road to hoe. Your guys' thoughts? What do you want to try to do? I feel like
There's no downside to speaking to Caroline first. I need to head back to the academy to get my gear anyways.
true.
Might I suggest you guys walk in looking not like this?
Is there a problem with my casual wear?
Let's just say you all stick out like a sore thumb, and after what happened today, people are probably going to be on the lookout for you.
Well, tomorrow I could change my appearance for up to 1 hour magically, or I could attempt to disguise myself. Also, I'm looking at it right now. Like, are we still within the hour of when I cast it?
Roughly, you're just like on the cusp of it.
I look like regular Ash Shoal right now without the burn. Some see me with the burn, some saw me without. I will at this point just let it go since we're near the end of it. Besides that, like end of the day, it looks like a Khajiit. I could try to match.
You have wares to sell.
Sorry, not Khajiit, Tabaxi. I could attempt to hide myself, but besides just wearing a cloak, like hard to cut figures down. I ask you guys like to the Warforged, I don't think there's much we can do about him.
Yes.
I am gifted in the method of disguise.
And she turns to Madeline. You probably can go in as is. I just maybe would throw in a cloak.
Ooh. Actually, Mandel, like you take this bag.
I can just go get it for you. I
Yeah.
don't know if I own cloak.
Yeah. I'm just thinking
What
like
are you guys? What are you doing? You know, from your side of things. You said we have a lead, right?
just towards the Feywild at this point. I was trying to figure out how the best way to get to the Feywild. I think you going back in with this, like, cause is it a bag of holding essentially? Yeah. If you take the bag in, you could probably grab all our crap from the skull or whatever. Was it skulls? The skull faction's Dorn. You could probably grab all our stuff. I think for me it was just like a couple weapons. For you it was like your armor, which is kind of huge.
Everything basically.
Yeah, it'd be very much worth us getting that here because we'll be gimped quite a bit without
Well,
it.
we need to. If we're going to talk to Caroline, we have to all get in there anyway. So might as well just go in there with our disguises.
I don't know what we can really do. How would you disguise yourself so you're not as recognizable as like eel-like?
I'd probably make myself look like a red dragon. Like I just joined the dragon clan basically. Just boom, bam, oh, like a dragon, red. No one can tell the difference. I have a tail. I'm incredibly handsome. Basically, dragon already. Just got to add more
So there's
jagged
things,
features.
we don't have any of the robes, do we?
No. But I'm sure disguise self would allow that to be a thing.
I can disguise myself. I can't disguise anyone else.
Yes, but I can disguise myself.
Do you have disguise self?
Yes.
You took a level in something?
I think for Paladin is what gave it to me. I literally just went through my list and says disguise self.
Really?
Range self. Shape shifting. Oh, it's from Gloomstalker magic. Just Gloomstalkers can do it.
Oh, so never mind.
Okay, well, if we can go back tomorrow, I just need to rest, like a long rest, and I can do it for an hour. That's you and me and Mandolin. We know our way to the dorm, so we can get there in an hour for sure. Using up with Coraline and getting out is a little trickier, but I think we might be able to swing it. Worst comes to worst, we just get the hell out of there.
Yep.
Looking at our Warforged friends, he's like 6'5". I don't know how to sneak you in.
Can
Although,
Using persuasion, I'm a human in armor.
maybe. They did think you were. Some people didn't think you were a visitor per se. They actually thought you were.
I thought it was a statue.
They thought you were the new statue for the skull.
I'm a security bot.
You want to maybe swing that as your excuse?
Can you fit in the bag?
You know, if I disguise myself, I can look like a generic student.
If I see anybody, I just stand still.
Because I've clearly seen the skull cloak at this point.
Yeah, it's you've seen them all at this point. You've seen white, gray, green, blue, black, red, yellow.
I think so. There's that one student I specifically talked to you about how to find the illusionist one.
Mhm.
I think I'll actually, yeah. No, I won't try to look like anyone specific. Okay.
I could just send a tiny animal to our friend and tell him to bring stuff and the person to us.
That also seems quite good, rather than try to do this massive sneak in. Yeah. Is that bubble like if we look? Is that bubble still up?
Yep.
So we might have to go back in through the bubble at least. I'm just asking you, like, did you like leave a permanent door?
I go down.
She's the one who got us out of it, so she can get us in again.
Yeah.
You just have to be gone during that moment.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be any problem to get in. If it doesn't drop, then I'm sure she will be able to cut a hole in it again. If you guys want to, like, we only need to, like, only me and you need to go in, and then they can send the bird to teach me with the Fae, and then we'll meet them outside.
Yeah, we'll just grab our stuff and come back.
Yeah, and meet up with them probably the same time the Fae is joining with them.
Okay, I'm down for that.
Because then we're not trying to sneak a Warforged that someone might recognize in.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the game plan. I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
The real question is, how much time do we have tonight to play? Because I know you have an early shift.
Honestly, we're getting pretty close to